41 laps are complete in Sylvania 300, the first race in the 10-race chase for the Nextel Cup. We're at the New Hampshire International Speedway in Loudon, New Hampshire, live on TNT. Past series champion Tony Stewart started on the pole, continues to lead. Time for our Through the Field, presented by Speed Pass from Exxon and Mobil. And we start with the 20 car, and here's Alan.
In the July race here, Tony Stewart's car took about 6 or 7 laps to get going after a restart, Bill. Something they wanted to address for this race. Greg Zipadelli feels they'll be faster right off the get-go and still hold their long-run speed. Marty?
Allen somewhere back there. There he is. Jeff Gordon in the second place, trying to get his first top 5 since Darlington back in May. He said it's a little slick getting into the corners out there. Maybe too much grip in the middle of the corner. You don't hear that very often. And tight coming off the corner. Dale Earnhardt Jr. said he, too, very fast to the middle of the corner. In fact, he said the car very good there. He said when he heard Tony Eury Jr. on the radio for the first time this week, it's like hearing from a best friend he hadn't heard from in a long time. Matt.
And the guy chasing the 8, Matt Kensington, 17, trying to become a repeat champion. Now, he said the car was a little tight, but coming into New Hampshire, this team, what a wave of momentum they have been experiencing.
Now we've been running really well last 2 or 3 months, so we are running good enough where I have more confidence this year that we'll have a shot at it than I did last year getting into the chase. Last year our momentum was on the way down the hill, and you know, we weren't running good when we got in the chase, and we didn't run really that good in the chase. I made some mistakes, we made some mistakes, but really our performance wasn't that great. Where I feel like this year we're on the way up the hill. Everybody's you know, fired up about racing for this thing. We raced really hard to get our way in and feel good about it.
Matty told me in driver intros this September, so different than last year at this time. Now they're going to make a track bar adjustment on their first stop. He runs in 4th, Dave.
Elliot Sadler runs in 5th, Matt. He started 6th, and you know what? Everybody seems to want what Elliot Sadler has. Left himself vulnerable for a chase spot, got knocked out of that. Now he's in 11th place in the points. Everybody wants his $1 million. He's trying to hang on to it, Matt.
A great race car last year in this event, finished 10th, had a great car in practice. Now Kevin Harvick told me, we feel like track position will be the most important thing today. We're going to get it early. You can see he's running in the top 10 now, but the 19, who's a chaser car, Slugger Labby told Jeremy, the 29 car on the lap tracker at this juncture, the best car on the racetrack. We're not that far off. Jeremy says we're a little free at this point. Alec?
Before today's race, Jimmy Johnson very optimistic they can put the mediocre performances of the last 3 weeks behind them and score a top 10 today. Jimmy just losing 8 spots to Ryan Newman there. Reports he wants a little help with his car's ability to turn in the center of the corner on their pit stop. Marty?
Alan, Ryan Newman told me before the race, we don't need to change our strategy in the chase. We need to change our performance. And so far, so good. From 13th to the 7th position for Ryan Newman, a little too loose in the center of the corner. His teammate Rusty Wallace told us earlier, this is my last chance, my last shot. I want to make it count. 2 car running very well right now in the 10th position, just a little bit too tight.
Tony Stewart continues to lead. 6 of the drivers in the chase for the Nextel Cup run inside the top 10 here at New Hampshire. We continue to go through the field with Marty and Joe Nemechek.
And Bill Joe started in the 11th position, currently running in the 11th position. The car is starting to get a little too tight for Nemechek. The center of the corner off. This is a place where he scored his first ever Cup win. Would love to get another one today. Matt?
Jeff Burton told BP on the pace light, we've got a car today that can definitely go to victory lane. If success will be his 5th win here on the Magic Mile. Now he's telling his team the car a little loose on entry, but good. Snyder.
Matt, Jamie McMurray's in the 13th position. He said the car is starting to get a little bit too tight. He told me this morning, he says, man, feels like we've been struggling for 3 or 4 months. We just need to get some momentum back and try and finish 11th this year as well. They did that last year, earning almost $1 million. Dave Blaney earlier radioed in, said the car was loose. Then at lap 30, he said, you know what, the car is coming into us. Scott Miller trying to get this car, his team, turned around, and there's some reports this car may be leaking some rear-end grease.
We see the smoke, Marty, coming out of the back of that 07. Alan?
Bobby Labonte had one of his best runs of the season here in July, BP, when he came up with a 3rd place effort. They are black flagging Dave Blaney, by the way, the 07 car for that report of leaking rear-end grease. We'll keep an eye on that. Bobby Labonte right now is running 16th in line, hoping to repeat that 3rd place run today. Dave?
Greg Biffle glad that Bobby Labonte is blocking all that spattering rear-end grease from the 07 car. His car right now just a little bit tight through the center of the corner. Doesn't want to turn real well, and so they're going to try to make an adjustment on that for Greg on their first pit stop. Well, the 5 of Kyle Busch started way back in 30th position. He has passed a lot of race cars, gotten forward on the cycle of pit stops as well. His car turns a little too well. They'll try to correct that on the first round of pit stops for them. Alan?
Mike Bliss has picked up a few spots since the start of the race. Started 22nd. He is now running in 17th position, rather. Beg your pardon. I'd make that 18th position for Mike. He just lost another spot. Just radioed into Booty Barker, the crew chief. Help in the center of the corner, please, Matt.
If you look closer at the 6 car, on the A post, you'll see a little bit of purple. This is the car that Kurt Busch won Richmond with last week. Now, Pat Tryson told me they put pride aside, knowing that Mark has a lot of success here, but he hasn't had it lately. They didn't want to start out this race in the hole, but right now, the race not going his way, Alan. Still fighting no grip.
The race is going pretty well for Ricky Rudd so far, Matt. He started the race back in 28th position, and Rudd has moved up inside the top 20 to 19th spot. I talked with Ricky earlier before the race. He said here in July was one of their worst of the year. He's hoping for better today. Carl Edwards, the 99 car, started in 24th position, and Carl has moved only up a few spots to 23rd. In fact, just 1 spot. Carl reporting just a few minutes ago on his car that he's having some handling troubles in the corner, having trouble getting a hold of the racetrack. You see him sliding back. Matt?
Alan, the clock is at the 37-minute mark for Kurt Busch, trying to repeat as champion. Now his team performing like champions in the garage. They have the nose welded into place. They've already fired the car, checked for leaks. The radiator is fine. They are closing in on getting this car back out. They just set the toe. They are torquing the lug nuts as we speak. They are now waiting for Kurt. This car should be going out momentarily. 37 minutes and 24 seconds.
And 52 laps down, 14 laps behind the car in front of him, Wayne Anderson, who has retired from the race. So he'll be looking to pick up at least those 14 laps on Anderson, and J.J. Yaley behind the wall, Ted Christopher out of the race. There are some positions for Busch to gain. Remember, the championship last year was decided by just 8 points. Meanwhile, Tony Stewart continues to lead on the track and in the championship standings. A former series champion who won here in July. He knows how to win races, knows how to climb fences. He told us on the countdown that's his goal today.